Hey, guess what's up, Tony? Everybody's like, oh shit.
I'm probably gonna walk in and just walk back and I'll head home. Part of it now.
I've got a special K bomb, got a special K pipe. I got it all. But if what is it for PBI? What is it exactly the patient's getting out of that? What is it for post-traumatic stress? I know a little bit about post-traumatic stress, but not so much about PBI. And then finally, too, for Dr. Sisson, maybe help me sort out, like, we know a lot of science, and we know that there's these anti-inflammatory aspects of THC and CBD, and all these different things that we know scientifically. Is that at play possibly? I'm not asking you to make a determination, you can't make the science, but from what you've seen and what you understand, how much of that stuff that we know is actually at play with the patient from what they're saying about the symptom relief that they get?
I'll touch on the PTSD. For myself, everybody's relationship with PTSD who has it takes cannabis for a different reason, takes a different amount. For my PTSD, is which those who know me is from sexual abuse when I was a child. And whenever those thoughts come into my mind, I don't get to choose that, but I do get to choose when I meditate and to get rid of those thoughts almost instantly. And that's where I got the idea for the PTSD pen, to have that vape pen available for veterans or victims of PTSD. You can't always light up a joint, you can't always smoke a bowl. So if you have a vape pen in your hand, which there's some sitting right here that would save their lives. And it's like a safety blanket they have in their pocket now. And the PTSD I suffer from is different from what my friends and my brothers suffer from because of the things they saw and experienced. It's a totally different story. I let them answer. I would never answer for them. And as well, you want to touch on the GBI as well?
As Patrick was starting to talk about, he can't touch on what his brothers experienced with their post-traumatic stress. It's very similar with traumatic brain injury. It's different for everyone. The part of the brain that's damaged is different. The symptoms that are caused by the injury are different for everyone. And the relief with using cannabis is different for everyone as well. And so what we found is that cannabis does work, that people are seeing relief, and that we do need to get more research done so that we can understand this better. I don't have medical answers to explain this to you. I'm not a doctor, and I just run a dispensary here in Seattle. But what I can tell you is that the stuff works, and I see it work for so many conditions every single day. And be it for improving the people's quality of life, or be it, for end of life or palliative care, no matter what it is, cannabis makes life better. It does for me, it does for everyone here. I'm sure you all feel the same way. So, it's difficult for me to quantify and answer that question, Patrick, specifically for post-traumatic stress, or excuse me, for the traumatic brain injury, but we just know that it works. And we all know that it works, so we see more research.
Well, I mean, it's interesting you bring it, because I'm interested in the whole plant marijuana, and I don't even go to the ICRS meetings. I'm not interested in studying cannabis at the receptor level. So I don't even, my interest is looking at human beings and how they respond to whole plant marijuana. So I'm looking only at data that is examining, sleep, anxiety, and other, the day-to-day, what things that affect humans' day-to-day functioning. So I'm not even sure. I've looked at all the compendiums from the ICRS of the different mechanisms that they theorize are at play. But it is so tough. There's so much conflicting data. It's really hard to put your finger on what is really happening. Just when you think, oh, it's this anti-TNF factor, and then suddenly there's another study that comes out that disputes that. So I've learned, as these guys said, I've learned to look at patients' clinical response and focus on that, and I think that's what's the most compelling. Hearing patient stories, we talk about the importance of doctors eventually. Doctors need to start listening to you guys. I don't know when that's going to happen, but my God, you're giving them the key here, the golden opportunity to embrace a natural medicine instead of constantly pummeling them.
I was going to ask Dr. Sue to maybe talk about why doctors are so hesitant to recommend cannabis to their patients, about them being used. Yeah.
Well, the other thing that we were talking about was part of the reluctance is doctors never learn about the endocannabinoid system. I realized, I look back at my training, and even though the endocannabinoid system we know was discovered in the 80s and then continued to be elucidated throughout the 90s, so it's been there for decades. It's been, you know, prime, it would be perfect opportunity for medical schools to add this into the curriculum. But sadly, there isn't a single medical school in this country that teaches about the endocannabinoid system. No accredited school. So that's why you're producing all these mainstream MDs and DOs that don't covet anything except FDA-approved meds. We're all beholden to that medium. We're trained with pharmaceutical company support throughout our training. We get free stethoscopes, free lunches, all kinds of horrific, psychological influence that is, we're indoctrinated into the big pharma mentality at a very young part of the process here. So that's, I think, really the key there, is because the mainstream MDs and DOs never get exposed to the concept of the fact that every human body has an endocannabinoid system, and that it's the most important homeostatic mechanism in the human body, and we never learn about that. So it's only those few docs that actually take the time to examine this and embrace it. But it's amazing that, yeah, we are the gatekeepers for this medicine. In 24 medical marijuana states, we are the people that have to certify patients. It is a crazy system, and that's why I'm so proud of Mike for being able to implement this workaround in Illinois, where veterans in Illinois no longer have to talk to a doctor. They have circumvented the doctor and vets can go directly to the health department with their medical records and say, look, I have a licensed physician, confirmed I have this diagnosis, and they issue a card. That is why 22 Too Many is committed to trying to implement that same system here in Washington. We hope to implement that state by state in every state, in every medical marijuana state, so that we can begin to create a real pathway for vets to finally gain safe access to lab-tested marijuana. It should be a basic human right. So anyway, that's...
So yeah, we've got about 10 more minutes, so let's go ahead and open up some questions here.
Thank you very much. I really wanted to ask a question of Dr. Sisley to benefit my own reporting, because there's a problem that I've been trying to figure out in my own head. You seem to be following the compassionate model, which is that you're talking to your patients, you're finding out from them what works for them, and you try to get what works for them. But then you're also trying to work toward the FDA model, if I understand you. And there's a rule about the FDA, correct me if I'm wrong, but for any medication to be approved by the FDA, its chemistry must be both known and reproducible. Help me understand how it is that we can move cannabis past that hurdle when if it has literally hundreds of therapeutic components and they can all vary from strain to strain or batch to batch. How is it that we can actually move past that?
Thank you. That is a really important observation, and I think our goal is, we're not sure that we're going to be able to get through this process, but the reason we're committed to this is we want to see whole plant marijuana put through the entire FDA drug development process. We think that is critical. If we're ever going to get buy-in from the mainstream medical community, we have to put this plant through the entire process. So our study is the first step in that, right? We're a phase 2 trial of the FDA. So if the data from phase 2 looks favorable, then the FDA will allow us to go to phase 3. And if you guys aren't aware, after phase 3, that drug is on the market. If the data looks compelling enough in phase 3, suddenly we have an opportunity to have whole plant marijuana gain an FDA indication for PTSD. And that would be a huge breakthrough, a game changer with the health insurance companies. Suddenly, we would have a mechanism to force insurance companies to put marijuana on their formulary, as they do in Israel, right? Israel is I think, a model for the world, where 2 out of the 3 national health plans offer marijuana through their insurance plan. That's crucial. So Jerry's right that there is that clause about reproducible. That's why they make us use NIDA marijuana, because they claim that that's perfectly standardized and perfectly reproducible. Yeah, but I think what we're hoping to do, that's why it's so important that we end the DEA NIDA monopoly before we go to phase 3, because the law says that we're not allowed to bring a drug to market unless it's been through the phase 3 process, right? So whatever drug we use in phase 3, the law says we're required to bring that particular drug to market. We can't bring NIDA marijuana to market, not just because it's horribly, yeah, because it's horribly suboptimal. That's another problem. But also because but also because the NIDA marijuana, it says that NIDA marijuana is only for research. It's not for pharmaceutical availability. So that's why it is critical that we have to focus all our energy on eliminating the DEA monopoly, so that we can finally license other expert growers in the country to grow marijuana for research, and we can take that drug into our phase 3.
That boy! I'm finna smoke me some dope.
That's whatever drug, and we're hoping to be able to buy marijuana from you guys down the road, so that we can use that in phase 3 and then take that to market later. That would be a huge, huge achievement. So anyway, that's what we're doing.
One more question over here.
Just your thoughts. Seeing the sale and veterans financing for homes, especially disabled veterans, being able to have their own see-the-sale partnership with the state security, and then be able to have their own marijuana cannabis grow on their properties financed by VA financing. Is this possible?
Believe it or not, you just asked a question I haven't been asked before. How about that? I feel like I should have a pin, like I get over that. But yeah, it's not come up. There are many places where it has come up. Carrie was talking earlier about how this pen is named after a patient that died because they were denied access on a transplant drugs because of cannabis. And probably thousands cannabis drugs being used for activities. You feel carry permit for this comes up, and unfortunately, it's also arguments in the roads and like that.
Have a good day, man. Thanks. And that was the first day of Seattle Hempfest 2015, Friday, August 14th. As you see, it's been raining all day. The only excitement in there was the thunder and lightning show. And not many people. But maybe tomorrow will be a better day. Bye for now.